Hello, great minds. You're welcome to Organotope Chem Clinic, where chemistry becomes crystal clear. I am Temitope Adiniji. In this episode of Inorganic Chemistry, we are going to focus on the periodic trends, which is also known as periodic variation. And under this trend, we are going to consider two atomic properties, which are the atomic radius and the ionic radius. Just like map shows direction, the periodic table of elements shows pattern. That is the trends that tell us how elements behave. So once you master these trends, you will be able to predict the properties of elements without memorizing them. So let's break it down step by step. Atomic radius and ionic radius. We need to understand that the atomic sizes are given by atomic radii, while the ionic sizes are given by ionic radii. What is atomic radius? Atomic radius is half of the distance between the nuclei of two atoms. Recall that in the periodic table of elements, the vertical column is called the group and the horizontal row is called the period. We are going to be considering these two directions on the periodic table of elements. The vertical column, which is the group from top to bottom, and the horizontal row, which is the period from left to right. Note that in order to understand the periodic trend without confusion, we need to take note of the following features across the period and down the group: the atomic number of elements, the shell number, the attractive force, as well as the distance between nuclei of an atom. As we move from left to right across the period, the atomic number increases, while the shell number across the period remains constant. Now the force of attraction across the period also increases, because the electrons occupies the same shell. The distance between the nuclei and the outermost electron decreases across the period. Decrease. While down the group in the periodic table, the atomic number also increases. We have an increase in atomic number. Then the shell number increases down the group, increases. Since the shell number increases, the outermost electron is far away from the nuclei, so the force of attraction tends to drop. So we have a decrease in the force of attraction. Then the distance between the nuclei and the outermost electron tends to increase down the group, increases. Make sense? In general, the atomic radius decreases across the period as we move from left to right. We have in period 3 sodium, magnesium, aluminium. They are found in the same period and the atomic shells are represented right here. It is observed that the atomic number tends to increase from sodium to aluminium. Sodium has atomic number 11, magnesium atomic number 12, and aluminium has the atomic number 13. In the outermost shell of sodium, we have 1 electron, while in the outermost shell of magnesium, we have 2 electrons, and in the outermost shell of aluminium, we have 3 electrons. Across the period, the number of electrons in the outermost shell tends to increase, thereby causing the electron cloud to shrink, just like we have in the case of a balloon. Let's assume that the outermost shell of this element is the outer surface of the balloon right here. When we have 1 electron on the surface, it shrinks slightly. When we have 2 electrons on it, it shrinks further. When we have 3 electrons on that same shell, it shrinks further. As more electron is being added to the same shell, the outermost electron tends to cause the electron cloud to shrink towards the nucleus, and thereby increasing the force of attraction between the nucleus and the outermost electron. Therefore, a shrink in the electron cloud towards the nuclei causes the atomic radius to decrease. That is, the distance between the nuclei and the outermost electron decreases as we move from left to right across the period. Make sense? Can we consider the trend down the group? Using the first group in the periodic table, what happens down the group? More shell is being added to the pre-existing electron shell. In lithium, we have 2 shells. In sodium, we have 3 shells, while in potassium, we have 4 shells. But they have something in common. Elements in the same group have the same number of electrons in the outermost shell. So we have 1 electron in the outermost shell. For lithium, 1 electron, sodium, 1 electron, and potassium, 1 electron in the outermost shell. So how do we justify the atomic radius? Since the shell number increases, the distance between the nuclei and the outermost electron tend to increase. The atomic radius in lithium is smaller than that in sodium. The atomic radius in potassium is greater than that observed in sodium. Since the atomic radii increases down the group, the force of attraction between the nuclei and the outermost electron decreases. Because the outermost electrons are far away from the nucleus, so the force of attraction becomes weaker as we move down the group. In general, the atomic radius decreases across the period as more electron is being added to the same shell. The shell number remains constant across the period from left to right. While down the group, the shell number increases while the number of electrons in the outermost shell remains constant. So as shell number increases, the distance between the nucleus and the outermost electron increases down the group. Therefore, the atomic radii increases down the group. Moving on, we consider the ionic radius. The ionic radius is the distance between the nucleus and the outermost shell of an ion. How are ions formed? Ions are formed when neutral atom gain electron or loses electron. When neutral atom loses electron, they become positively charged and they are called cation. When neutral atom gains electron, they become negatively charged and they are called anions. So the cations are formed by metals, while anions are formed by non-metals. Metals are mostly found on the left-hand side of the periodic table, while the non-metals are mostly found on the right-hand side of the periodic table. Examples of cations include sodium ion, magnesium ion, while the anion include oxygen 2-, fluoride-, and chloride-. Note that the atomic radius and the ionic radius follows the same trend. That is, the ionic radius decreases across the period and increases down the group. Note that for the cationic radius, when an element loses electron, the atomic shell reduces. Then, if the shell number decreases, the force of attraction between the outermost electron and the innermost nucleus tend to increase, thereby causing the electron cloud to shrink. And when the electron clouds shrink, the distance between the nucleus and the outermost electron decreases. So we have more electron being lost as we move across the period. In sodium, we have loss of what? 1 electron. In magnesium, we have loss of 2 electrons, while in aluminium, we have loss of 3 electrons. So as the effective nuclear charge increases, the ionic radius decreases across the period. Now, for example, in sodium atom, we have the atomic number 11. In sodium atom, the atomic number is equal to the electron number. But in sodium ion, the atomic number is not equal to the electron number because we have loss of 1 electron. Therefore, the electron equals 10, while the proton number is 11. So in this, proton number is greater than the electron number. Therefore, we have a pull inward towards the nucleus. When there is a pull towards the nucleus, it causes a reduction in the ionic radius. In the case of magnesium, we have magnesium 2+, proton number 12, electron number is 10. So we have further pull inward because the number of proton is greater than the number of electron. Okay, so we have a pull inward. The pull or the shrinking of the electron cloud increases as we go across the period. That is, the effective nuclear charge in sodium is +1, while in magnesium we have +2 and in aluminium +3. So as the effective nuclear charge increases, the ionic radius decreases. Also, we can apply this method to anionic radius. For phosphorus, it has the atomic number 15. Okay, then we have the number of proton in phosphorus is 15, while the number of electron in phosphorus is as well 15. Okay, so here we have a balance. But in the case of the ion, the phosphorus 3 minus, we have proton equals 15, while electron equals 18. Therefore, 15 minus 18 will give what? -3. Okay, so the electron number is greater than the proton number. Thereby, we have a pull outward since the electron number is greater than the proton number. So a pull outward causes the atomic shell to expand and increase. When the atomic shell expands, it causes the ionic radius to increase. Now let's compare the sulfur with the phosphorus. In sulfur, the atomic number is greater than what we have in the case of phosphorus. Therefore, the number of electrons gained in sulfur is lesser compared to the number of electrons gained in phosphorus. So if we have more proton in sulfur, it results in a pull of the outermost electron towards the nucleus, thereby causing the electron cloud to shrink, and in that process ionic radius becomes smaller. In chlorine as well, the atomic number in chlorine is greater than the atomic number in sulfur. So the atomic number is equal to the proton number. Since the proton number in chlorine is greater than that in sulfur, it causes further pull in the electron towards the nucleus. Therefore, the ionic radius becomes smaller. The ionic radius is bigger in phosphorus compared to sulfur, and the ionic radius in sulfur is bigger than that of the chlorine. So invariably, the ionic radii decreases across the period as we move from left to right in the periodic table. But note that when you are crossing from the cations to the anion across the period, between aluminium and phosphorus we have an increase in ionic radius. That is, the ionic radius of phosphorus ion is greater than the aluminium 3+. Take note of that. Now let's do this together. We have in case 1, atomic radius is greater than the cationic radius. Let us prove this together. We have the atomic number of the elements right here is 11. So element with atomic number 11 is sodium. So which implies that the Na here is the parent atom, while the ion with electron number 10 is sodium ion. The atomic number still remains the same. Can we check between the parent atom and the sodium ion? Are we going to have a pull inward or a push outward? Are we going to have attraction inward or repulsion outward? Here we have the proton is 11 and the electron is 11 for the parent atom. For the sodium ion, the proton is 11 and the electron is 10. So we have 11 minus 10. This will give us +1. Since the effective nuclear charge is +1, we have a pull inward. And a pull inward causes the ionic radius to be smaller. Okay? So atomic radius is greater than cationic radius. Also in case 2, let's check whether we have inward or outward movement. The element with atomic number 9 is fluorine. When fluorine gains 1 electron, we have F minus. The atomic number still remains the same. The proton number for fluorine is 9, while the electron number for fluorine is 9. But the fluoride, the proton number for fluoride is 9. The electron number for fluoride is 10. Now we have 9 minus 10, which is what? Minus 1. So in this case, since we have the outward pull by the electron causing an expansion in the ionic radius, therefore we can say that the atomic radius is less than the anionic radius because we have outward pull by electron. In other words, the ionic radii of positive ions are smaller than the corresponding atomic radii. Also, the ionic radii of negative ions are bigger than the corresponding atomic radii. Make sense? So if you find this video lesson so interesting, kindly click the subscribe button and share with your friends right now. You can also follow and like my Facebook page. Thanks for watching.